Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is SwagMountain64. This is a Fireside Gaming podcast. Brand new year. Brand new decade. It's fun, man. It's exciting. I like having these. We just kind of recap, what's been going on the stream, what's been going on in gaming, what's been going on in the content, everything that's been happening, just kind of recap. Every 2 weeks or so we do these. It's a bunch of fun. And this is the first one for the year. There's going to be some cool stuff too, I think, coming for the next few episodes. I want to finally bring some more people back on. I thought for the first one, just be us again. Me and you, chat. Welcome, guys. But yeah, I do want to bring some more people on for this. Just even it's just like we brought Acolyte and Tom on in the past. I hit Tom up too. He said he'd be down to join for some more. So I think that'll be fun. There's just some of the guys we play with a lot in the streams and all the content and everything. So really exciting. Should be fun going forward with that. For those of you guys who don't know, we do these live on Facebook on Fridays, every other Friday. And then I do have the chat open. I keep the alerts and some of that stuff off as well, just so that way I can focus more on talking, not really get interrupted too much, or more so at least when I want to get interrupted, I'll actually look at chat a little bit more. But there's been a ton of stuff going on over the past few weeks. Obviously the holidays, obviously everything going on. If you guys saw the announcement as well, my wife and I are having our very first baby. Put a little video up on that on the YouTube as well. Bunch of great comments from everybody, the photo, everything. It's really cool. It's really overwhelming to see all the support and everything on that. So I can't thank you guys enough for everything. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be different. Hopefully you guys stick with me, as I will probably be out a couple of times here and there, especially once we have the baby. Is expected to be in June. But never got to talk about it on the podcast since it was right before the announcement, if I'm not mistaken, was the last podcast that I had done. So yeah, if you want to watch that, that was pretty fun. And it's going to be, I've gotten a ton of messages from people too. And it was funny too, because so many people were like sending all these messages of, watching the stream from the waiting room or whatever. We just had our first kid or whatever it might've been. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I couldn't say anything. Now I could finally, it's like, it's a lot of fun. So it's been really exciting. We've also been trying out some more giveaway stuff. That's been pretty cool. Giving away a shirt right now. And I want to try and figure out some more ways to do just some more give back to you guys over the year. So we're going to test out a couple things, see how all of that stuff goes. Obviously, we're going to have a ton more content coming as well. Really starting to ramp up on Instagram. Obviously, both my YouTube channels, finding a better path forward on all of that. We got the top plays rolling on those. Still going to be a thing. I want to start doing 2 episodes a week of that. It's going to be probably something in the back half of the year that I might get to, but for now, top plays, still cooking, feeling good. Obviously, you've been playing a lot of Tarkov lately. I might get into some more tips of that, depending on how people still responding to it. I've been playing a lot of that, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a good change up, but there's been a ton of other stuff. Like I've been talking about trying to do some virtual reality. It's just other stuff just keeps coming up that I want to keep on playing, and so everything just keeps coming up. It's great though. It's a bunch of fun. That's the good news about all of it. The other thing too is Pipeline coming back. It's going to be at the end of this month, probably about another week or 2. So stay tuned for that. We'll have some more details. Well, something cool that's even just like a greater thing that even non-Pipeline members have been requesting for a long time. So something that is coming that's around that's going to be really cool. I'm really excited to be putting that together for this year. And then we're also going to be doing, if you guys do want to just hear me talking about streaming and all that stuff, I do we just do some me talking about it, some training sessions, just talking about it, hanging out. We're going to be doing one of those next weekend, Saturday morning as well. So keep an eye out for that if you are interested in it, but that's going to be pretty fun, pretty cool. But yeah, man, I think we gotta start by talking about Tarkov right now, because that's pretty much taken over. That's what I've got a bunch of questions from you guys too. A lot of them relating to that. I kind of want to save what those questions were for kind of the back half of this, and when we get to some questions as well. But I'll probably talk about a bit of it here as well, because they're kind of overlapping. if you haven't even heard of Escape from Tarkov, I literally just made a video about this. That's such a fast video. It's on YouTube and it's on Facebook. It's my pinned video on Facebook because I've been playing this game a whole bunch over the last 2-3 weeks, and people just, it's nonstop. What game is this? What game is this? I mean, I'm sure every person in the chat has asked me the question or thought of the question when they watched it, especially because I know a lot of people on Facebook too probably hadn't even seen the game. I know Cross had been playing it. Pool Shark had been playing it, so some of you guys who had been watching them came over and saw some of that, told me to play with them. We got a couple games with them, so that was awesome as well. I've been watching a lot of their streams on it too. It's been a lot of fun, but it's basically, I'll just give you just a general overview of it. Right, you go in with whatever loot you want to. You know, it's not a battle royale. It's, you know, like all these other games, you got to go in and you got to find loot, then you get the loot, and then you run around with whatever it is, and maybe you die and you lose it and you got to start a new game. This one, you do start with nothing, but when you come out, you get to keep all of that gear, and you can go into the next mission with that same gear. So you can go in fully kitted, like fully decked out into these missions, and then go ahead, die, and lose it all. Because if you die, it's gone. There's a bunch of caveats, and it gets deeper than that. But yeah, it's a looter-shooter type game. It's a survival type game that you go in, get some gear, kill some other players, steal their gear, find some gear on the map, kill some other players, as well as AI is in the game too. And it's a game that's been around for a few years now. I don't know, chat, when did it, do you guys know when it actually was first playable? I want to say it was at least 2 years ago, because I believe I played it in 2018. Was the first time that I had ever played it. Aculite was the one who was telling me about it, so we ended up trying it, and back then I got the base version of the game, and I remembered this while we were streaming over the past few days as well. It's 2016, people are saying? Maybe even 2018? Yeah, 2017, 2018 seems to be semi-consensus from chat, which is, as we know, always reliable. Came out 2016. All right. Anyways, it's been around for a while, but it's really been blowing up as of late. They did a huge promotion on Twitch where the game was discounted. There was all these drops where as you're watching, like, you would just get stuff in the game. There's been a bunch of different stuff promoted on a bunch of different platforms, though, but it kind of was like the perfect time, though, because it's around the holidays. They're like, Call of Duty came out way earlier. No Battlefield this year in 2019, and like, I don't know, like Apex also, they didn't have, like, they did their Christmas mode, but that was pretty much it. They did an update, I think, but it didn't change any of the gameplay in the game. So I think in terms of the shooter realm, I think a lot of people are looking for something new, and it's just, I mean, it's a good game as well. So I think a lot of that kind of just tornadoed it all together to make it fun, and they just came out with an update. I think it was called the 0.12 update, if I'm not mistaken, and they changed a bunch of stuff. And that was like, I want to say that was like a month or two ago that happened, though. It was a little while ago, because I remember Aculite had told me, he's like, dude, this is really good, because he's the one he really likes this, and he was pushing the game on me a bunch. He's a much higher level. He's made a lot more progress on it, and he was like, man, the update's been good. And Fuglet was playing it, and he was just Fuglet was going ham on the game. Since the first day that we tried it, like a few weeks back for it. And anyways, yeah, and then I just played it. It was a lot of fun. Stream really liked it, and it was like, it reminded me a lot of in terms of like live streaming. I know it doesn't really relate to PUBG because it's not a battle royale. There's a lot of differences between it from a lot of those aspects, but in terms of like a streaming perspective, it felt very similar to me to that, because like it's very much a game that, like, it's got such a high stakes element to it that, like, it's a super, like, my ass is gonna jump, and like, it's just like, it's a fun ass story to play through and follow. That was the big thing, especially when I first was playing PUBG, is like, some of these games were like 30-40 minutes long, and even though some of them, like, I wouldn't even win, it was like we would have these insane moments, because again, it was like super high stakes into these games. And then, you know, everything developed after that, but that was something that, like, I was really enjoying. And there was also just a massive amount to learn. Similar aspect, right? Like, when I was learning how to even play a battle royale in the first place, it took me a long time to figure a lot of that stuff out. And this game has a very steep learning. Like, it's a simple concept. You go in, you watch somebody not die. Like, okay, and like trying to escape, find your way to the extraction and leave. But like that's simple enough, but it's also, anyways. So that's why I think like I've personally been enjoying it. I've been playing a lot of it. I think it's been really fun for the streams. I know the response to it has been awesome. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and as well just watching other people play it. I've really enjoyed it. It's fun, and even just like there's just so much to learn about it, especially because there are a bunch of different maps. There's a bunch of different ways to play, and there's quests, and like a lot of the relating things we've related it as well to Scum. If you guys remember we played that a while back as well. We had that game was great though, because you had in-game chat, and that was great. That led to some very fun moments, and you could try and like become friends with people. You could try and convince them that you're their friend. And that's one of the things too, like even in this game, there are certain extractions in the game which you can only do if you're playing with, like, you have to have a regular player and a scav, player scav to team up and escape. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. You got to team up and work with other people that you normally wouldn't, right? But you can't really communicate with them. So that's something that I think Scum definitely did better. Yeah, Scum was good, chat saying. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great. It was a little bit buggy. I mean, it was very buggy. And it had a lot of cool concepts in that game that I really did like. How, like, you can go to third person, but you're still living in a first-person reality where you can't third-person peek things. You can just see in third person to see your character and see what's going on a little bit better. But, like, and it's relatable because it's like, that's a survival game. You go in, you get a bunch of stuff. When you have better gear, you can kill other players easier. You can have your little stash. But the stash and everything in that game was all in-game, right? Like, that's all in the environment. You can't take any of it out, and it's never really safe. Like, you can stash it somewhere, but somebody else can come raid your stash. And that's a cool aspect of the game, too. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, these are some of the differences. And one of the things that I do like about this this game is that you've got your whole stash of inventory and stuff. You can get stuff out. You can make progress in this game. You get bigger stashes, bigger boxes, and stuff that, like, normally, at least I was never able to do in Scum. I would typically just die, lose all my stuff. I would never have a stash. Every time we played, it would be like starting all the way back over again, if I remember that correctly. But anyways, that's why I think I've really been enjoying it. And there's a bunch of questions too about Tarkov that we'll get to in a bit. But the other huge thing that was just even more recent was Apex Legends. They just finally announced the an update that's coming, which is really cool. I mean, it's not going to be gameplay changes. We watched it at the beginning of the I think it was yesterday's live stream. At the beginning of the stream, they dropped a trailer for it, and we watched, I think it was only like a minute or two trailer of just like the next mode or the next like event that's coming. I don't even remember what it was called exactly, but it's a new Apex event, and it's going to have, all of the Apex events are 14 days. So it's going to still be 14 days, but it's going to be 7 modes during those 14 days. I think it's 2 days per mode, and it's going to be some cool like comeback mode, as well as comeback map, as well as a couple new things, like an all-gold gun mode. I mean, we've been talking about this for ages. Another one, which we've done a lot of in our custom games, is they're doing a not in PUBG, not in, I mean, I wish we could do it in Apex. It'd be insane. But not, it's for another time. It's for another rant. Okay? But they're going to have like a mode where the zone is always closing and it says it's more dangerous. Now, I don't know if it's going to be like the way we used to play PUBG is we would do this mode where the zone is always closing, it never stops, and it's instant kill. So you got to stay away from it. If it's something like that, that'd be awesome. They're doing a duos mode. They're bringing back the old map at nighttime, which we got to play at the the Halloween event. But we didn't get to play the map. We only played the map like, in that mode. Like, it wasn't a regular battle royale. They're doing like a duos. I think the duos was the duos gold mode. But anyways, a lot of really cool stuff, which I'm excited to play. I'm excited for some new content on it. The main thing about Apex is they're limiting their game to big meta shifts, which is basically changes the way that the game is even played. Like, which guns do you want to use? Which armor? Like, the main way that the game, most people are trying to figure out how the game's played. They tweak everything, right? Add new characters, everything. Revenant probably going to be the next one based off of that Halloween event and everything. And there's been a bunch of other characters that have been leaked for that game. We'll see what direction they go. I think there's still massive potential for that game. But anyways, That doesn't happen until season shifts, which we're not going to get the next. I don't know when the next season actually starts, but the last time I looked at it was like 70 days. It's probably like 30 or 40 days or something probably now. But that is coming, and that'll be great. But this is kind of just like some new modes that they're throwing in, test it out. I think they could have one of these going all the time. I really didn't get back into ranked this season at all. I don't think I probably won't get back into it and try and do a push for the final thing. I'm not sure how many people are. The bigger problem, at least on PC, is that people just weren't really playing ranked. So I don't know. We'll have to figure some of that out. Play some Cuisine Royale. I know, dude. I've seen that a bunch. I still haven't played it. February 4th, Chess. Season 4 starts February 4th. Okay, so that's pretty good then. So January 14th is when this arcade mode is coming, and then it'll take us 2 weeks to probably like just before. Oh yeah, and third person. Yep. Oh, I mean, we assumed that was going to be a thing as soon as we saw. As soon as we saw the third person, which was the Easter egg of the Easter eggs. Oh yeah, I did a video trolling Tom on one of the Easter eggs. Now I don't have a good reputation with Easter eggs anymore, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll redeem ourselves on the Easter egg front. All right, we gotta become a reputable source of Easter eggs again. Although it was really an Easter egg, I just added a couple extra steps to how you solve the Easter egg of. In Apex, they had one for making it so the dummies came alive, and then there was another one for going third person. If you crouched in a certain... You can still do it today if you want to go try it. Just Google it. You'll find it. But if you go into a corner on the train... You can only do it in the training range, by the way. But you go into the training range, go in a corner, crouch, switch characters, stand up, and you become third person playing the character. And it actually works really well. Like, it's not just something that was like slapstick to get. I mean, maybe it was, but it worked really well. So, like, if you have certain long range optics, it actually went into first person when you aim down sight. Very smooth. The overall camera angle is strong, and it's like playing Fortnite, right? But, you know, like with the third person angle where it's locked to one side. I'm guessing they're not going to put a whole bunch of development time into making this like perfect, because it's literally, we're going to be able to play it for 2 days on a side mode, if anything, in this game. But I'm really excited to try it. Like, a lot of these modes, to me, I don't understand why they're doing it as 7 modes. We haven't even gotten 7 modes in the last year, right? Like, and then we're going to get 7 of them within a 2-week period. I don't understand why they're kind of dumping all of them at once. Maybe it's just, I mean, with that much content, maybe you just have everybody playing this game every single day for 2 weeks because everybody wants to keep playing the new modes. Maybe that's something they're testing. It probably work. I mean, I'm probably going to want to play it every other day at least, because I'm going to want 1 day on each of these new modes. And what's good too, actually, what might be good about it is like the last modes they've done, they keep them for 2 weeks. The first day is great. Everybody's playing it good. They're working on, you know, they're just playing it. They're just enjoying the mode. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth day, everybody's just trying to complete the challenges. They're backing out of games. They don't care. Nobody's actually trying to do it anymore. They just want to complete the challenges, get their skin, and get out. And people are just kind of, you know, that's one of the things, too, that I've noticed a difference of, at least kind of, you know, going back to PUBG again. When PUBG, we would do custom games, and they were community custom games. We'd get everybody in the game, and everybody was trying to win. Like, everybody would play zombies legit. Like, we'd all team up. Like, you'd have different strategies and aspects being used because people actually wanted to win. And then when you put it out to the general public of everybody can just queue into these modes, which they had limited time modes you could play and doing those, they just, I don't know. I never really played them, but they would do them for just a weekend. But they stopped doing them. They don't do them anymore. So I'm assuming that that's maybe part of the reason why is like people just weren't really into it. It didn't play out as well as something like, you know, a bunch of friends playing together when it's just a bunch of people trolling each other. I don't really know. That's just my assumption. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do that, and if they do decide to continue to bring some of these back. Like, I would love it if they just brought solos back, you know, like, or even if they always had a limited time event rolling. I don't know, maybe that doesn't work though. I don't know. I don't know the data that they're looking at in the back end of all this stuff, but it's an interesting approach nonetheless. And it'll be interesting to see if they decide to keep doing this in the future, because they were they've not been doing a lot of these limited time modes. They did like the sniper shotgun mode. they've done the solos, they've done duos, they've done a couple things over all of these times, but they're always like 2 weeks, and then we take a break for a month or whatever it is, and then we bring it back 2 weeks, and then we take the mode away again. And now they're literally doing 7 of them within 2 weeks. So, hey, we'll see. I'm going to definitely be back on the 14th playing that one, though. So a lot of people have been asking, when am I going to play Apex again? Because it has been a while. We're going to try it again on then. Maybe I'll try and do at least one day of warming up, like, before that. So that way I'm not, like, just getting straight destroyed, because it's been a while since I played Apex. But we can definitely try that out. The other game that we kind of been playing, I've definitely been uploading a lot of videos on it still, is Modern Warfare. Still no news on that front. Now, we are into the new year. It's only 10 days into the new year, so it's still pretty fresh, but I have yet to see anything about any Battle Royale or anything. Obviously, that was huge talk, as everybody was like just, looking for something fresh to play, especially in Battle Royale. I think was Apex really the last giant Battle Royale launch? What other game? Like, obviously, that one's been updated and changing a lot. Obviously, PUBG's still kicking butt. Like, people are still playing that. Game's years old. But I think a lot of people are really, I guess, yeah, because Blackout came out before Apex. Apex came out about late February last year. So we're coming up on almost 1 year of Apex Legends out. But yeah, no, I mean, Call of Duty, they dropped their Season 1. Yeah, there's still the Season 1 pass. I don't know if have they said when Season 2 is coming out for Call of Duty yet? Some people saying Season 2 is coming soon. I don't know if I've seen anything specific about when Season 2 is coming. That could be when they drop that. I think we still have more content expected from Season 1, though. I'm not 100%. 22 days left, someone says. No news on Season 2, someone else says. Season 1 ends in 23 days. February as well for that. Okay. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they decide to drop anything else new and big for that. The cool thing is that it's all going to be free content that is coming. So anybody who has Call of Duty, which is a massive amount of people, it's one of the biggest franchises in the world, even for being like a AAA cost of buying a full $60 game or whatever. Like, I'm guessing we're still going to see a lot of content come. And the thing is, too, with Call of Duty is they are drip feeding their content. So, like, their biggest free content, Season 1, was like, it was Crash. That was what they came out with on the first day. And then they've slowly, okay, now we're going to give you the new Ground War. Now we're going to give you the Vacant. Now we're going to give you Shipment. Now we're going to, and they've just been trickling out, which I think is great, actually. I think it's a good way to do it. I do wish that we just, got a bunch of stuff up front as well, but it's kind of fun to keep everything paced out. Like, because then when they drop Shipment, and then when they change it to 24/7 Shipment, I really liked it. I've been having fun with it. And then it keeps me, maybe, because I like to play a bunch of different stuff too, so then I can kind of go play something else, and then it's like, all right, hell yeah, we got something new on COD. So I'm hoping that they, if we see some more Ground War maps, if we see a Battle Royale, obviously that would be huge. I'd love to go back and play that as well. But I have no idea how it's actually going to be. Is it actually going to play well? We also saw, now, we saw Battlefield drop theirs. That one didn't really sustain as well. Call of Duty's did do well, though. I really did enjoy, at least, I guess it was different. That was Treyarch, right, for Black Ops 4. And so they have slightly different designs. Even though it's still Call of Duty, it's a slightly different design to it and stuff. So we'll see how they decide to handle this one, if it even is a thing. Again, I'll keep an eye out for news, any official news and everything. We'll definitely keep updated on that. But yeah, that's where I think, that's why it's been fun to switch over, play some Tarkov, especially. But there's other games too that, like, in the realistic space, like Squads. A lot of people always tell me, go play Squads. That was another thing, because, like, a lot of people would tell me, go play Tarkov, check this game out, you'd probably like it. And then, and I get a lot of messages about the game Squads as well. I have over the years, but I still haven't checked that one really out. Like, I haven't stepped into it a bunch. But that's what it's like. Also, there's so much stuff on my list of content that I want to create for you guys and games I want to check out and play. But I also kind of, if I really want to get into it, if I really want to play Tarkov, like it takes a long ass time to figure that game out. So it's been an investment to kind of even figure it out and get my feet really in it. But now I feel like I'm really starting to get it. So I feel like the content's even getting better. Some of the raids are getting crazier. I had the craziest run yesterday where I took out these guys that were level 50. I'm like level 18. Double killed them in the inside. Oh, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So it's been a lot of fun. But I do want to check out one of the questions. Let me see. I think I had it here. Alexander K asked, any new VR streams coming down the line? You should check out Boneworks. So I have seen, if you guys haven't seen, so it must be out then. I never saw it actually come out or whatever. I'm not really paying super close attention to a lot of the VR stuff right now, but I did see the trailer from Boneworks. And if I'm not mistaken, the guys at Corridor Digital, or at least one of their teams, or some of those guys were working on, because I remember I saw a video from those guys showing off some of it in the Index VR thing from, I think it's from HTC. But bro, it's like a finger specific tracking and stuff. It looks super cool, and it's also, I think it looked a little, from what I saw I did see a video or two, but I don't know. Anyways, it looks really cool. I do want to check that out. There's a couple VR games that I really do want to check out. It's a little difficult to try and stream it and play it. I had a solution at my last setup, but my hope was to figure a lot of that stuff out for the stream, like at the end of last year as well as the beginning of this year. Haven't gotten to that yet. I kind of put it on the back burner for now again, and it's like infinitely on the back burner, but there's just so much good stuff that I've been enjoying and wanting to check out right now that, you know, we'll get to it. It was close though. I'll say we were close to checking out some. So I'm just gonna keep you guys. Yeah, I've been saying for so long that we're gonna do that, but you know, hey, we'll see. Maybe one day, dude. Maybe one day. Christopher L asks, does EFT have staying power with all the new players? Are people prepared for the wipe mechanic as well? Every time I've brought this up, I've gotten so many questions about this too. I think this is a good question. Does it have staying power? I have no idea. What's interesting is, like, if you look at, this is only a PC game and it's a super complicated game. So if you look at like, you know, even like, let's look at PUBG again, right? When that game came out, that was only on PC. And that one I thought too was like, you know, it's got a limited audience with that because not many people play on PC. But I think a lot of people, I'm assuming at least, seem to enjoy watching it because, I mean, numbers seem to be pretty great in terms of the last few weeks. Now, it also had all this promotion and all the stuff I was talking about earlier going on, right? So that's a huge factor into it. I have no idea. I have no idea how well it will retain. But on a bigger note, the wipe mechanic, I don't know. If you don't know, this game, basically, it's still in beta. First of all, Tarkov, this game is in beta right now, the survival game. And it's not even out yet, right? Like, that was the same, PUBG was the same way. It was, people started playing it, started getting a lot of traction when it was in beta. Actually, yeah, it was in beta, and then it came into early access. Then it was in early access for like, I don't know, like 6 or 9 months or something, and then it came out. It was a whole catastrophe for a while there. Everybody was like freaking out. It was fun though. It's a crazy time, but this game is still in beta. And what they do though is, because they are still testing the game, they're figuring out, okay, well, does this make, like, what do we need to change about it? What do we before it's out, right? This thing goes through a complete reset. When I say complete reset, you don't keep your money, you don't keep your gear, you don't keep anything. It is like everybody starts over from day one. All your progress, your quests, everything you've gotten, everything you've ever done in the game is completely wiped, and you start from day one with, you know, if you bought the whatever edition, you'll get all that gear back, but you're not going to get any of the stuff that you had. You can't save your money. You can't try and throw it. You know, you can't save anything. It complete resets. I have no idea how that's going to be. They've done this multiple times, though. This is not going to be a first time if they do this in the future, which they very likely will. They've done this multiple times over the past 2 years, right? Like, it's not something new. And people keep on playing it. Now, I've had some people say, like, they stopped playing it after a wipe, and then they just came back to it more recently now. So I don't know. I assume that it would be something where it's like, oh man, I just lost all my progress, especially if it is like a more casual player who's not going to get to the end and not going through everything. It'll be interesting. But I don't think it's going to be the end of the world because they've done it multiple times and they've kept up with what it is. And it's also, I played this game, whatever it was, like a year and a half. Let's just call it 2 years ago, whatever it was. I had done a bunch of the quests in it. So when I went back and played it this time, I already knew some of the quests at the beginning, but I had never gotten to how far I am today as I did back then. It might still be great. But I think it's going to really just depend on the player. And if you look at like if I'm thinking about it, like even with World of Warcraft, right? This is another game where you make a bunch of progress, you build your character up, you do all this stuff. I did that back in the day, and now WoW Classic's out, and I'm going through that, and that's a bunch of fun to play. And I enjoyed the whole process, going through all of it, doing it again. So it's different. It's for sure different, especially because I already had the skill set now of all those years of gaming, all those years of doing everything, and now going into that. So I think it'd be a similar aspect with this, is that like, in a next wipe, everybody's going to be way more hard. Everybody's going to know way better what they're doing if everybody does keep playing it too. Like we might see a storm of something else taking over and taking a lot of people away. But I also think it's a different game. Like if you were into an Escape from Tarkov game, it's a realistic shooter style game that a lot of people, maybe there's some crossover between like a Fortnite and a Tarkov, but probably not a whole lot. Like if you're into more of a Tarkov and building guns and some of the modifications and stuff that you can do in that full control, you have zero control in a game like Fortnite that's much more arcadey, and you could like those different styles of games, but there's a lot of people that just like Arma, Milsim games. And while this does have aspects that are more gamified in this, like in EFT, it is a lot more gamified than some, I think at least, than something like it's not just a full-on simulation. I don't know. I think at least like I find ways of I guess like doing the quests and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to think about that more. But that's how I feel at least right now. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be pretty good though. What's the end game like in it? Yeah, I'm not there. I guess the end game. I mean, the end game right now in Tarkov is like you kill the boss 100 times. That was the latest quest that they had added. Was Killa, which is one of the bosses on one of the maps. Kill him 100 times, which takes forever to do and is extremely difficult. I don't even think I would do it if I got there. Maybe I would. I don't know, but I don't know what the end game is for it. The thing is too, like they only have half the maps even unlocked for the game, so there's a ton of room for EFT to even grow. I think there's a ton of room for it, and who knows? Maybe with the huge influx of a bunch of players, and they probably got a bunch of cash from it too. Maybe they build their team out. They got to expand, speed up production, do even more cool stuff. Yeah, sky's the limit. You get the Kappa container for the end quest. Yeah, so you get a bigger saved container for the very end. I think that's before the 100 kill challenge though. Anyways, Greg M asked, "Do you find Apex is getting boring? I'm really excited this season, and I'm finding myself bored at the." Oh, I really excelled this season. I'm not great at reading. My bad. And I'm just finding myself bored at this point. Is that why you're moving over to Tarkov? Really hoping next season brings me back into the game. Yeah, like I think you got to keep a game fresh in some way for a lot of people. A lot of people will just be down to keep playing it no matter what, like even with not much changing. But the format, and this is why I've been saying like Apex has so much potential too, and for so long, and even before that game, before we even knew that it was a thing, this concept of the game is so strong. And character-based, ability-based battle royale. Like this is what I was saying for so long. It's got so much potential because look at League of Legends. Look at Overwatch. All of these games can keep on dropping new characters. That shifts the meta. It changes the way the game's played. And it continues to make something that's pretty much the same feel extremely fresh. adding new guns, adding new ways to do things. Now, this one is more tied to the actual gunplay than abilities and a lot of the stuff, but there's still just massive potential for it. But we're probably seeing it for a lot of people on a slower cycle than what people like to just stay on this game forever. I don't know. I think it was like 90 days or something between last season and what the next season to come is, and we get one new legend per season. So it's really, and the legends don't really have that great of an impact. We saw a huge impact on Watson because ranked was also dropped, and like that changed the meta a whole bunch, like immediately, especially because everybody was trying to get ranked up for the first time. Now I don't know, and I'm not super deep in the game, so I'm sure people can argue to differently, but at least in the casual version of the game, I don't notice Watson being like a huge point of contention in the game, or even I don't know, like crypto even being added. He definitely changes the game a little bit, but it didn't seem super great. Like, I think it's great. I think it's super cool, but it would be great to see it on a faster cadence and to see some stuff. But yes, that is why, like, I just want to explore other games. I played it a whole bunch. I really enjoyed the game. I think the game still has a ton of potential. I love it, and I will definitely be back on it for sure. But yeah, it's just fun. I just like exploring different games. That's just me. That's just me, dude. I just like, especially like all the latest games, whatever's popping. And typically, honestly, like I've mostly been like a AAA player. I played a lot of console games. I didn't really play a lot of indie games even on console. I mostly just played all the biggest games growing up, and since then, like Call of Duty, even like Pokemon, Sonic, like, over the years, like Mario Kart, Zelda, and that's just like the games that I like to play. So whenever there's new stuff, I like to take a look at it, but there's so many of them now, it's kind of crazy. It's crazy, man. But I try and play what I can and what I'm interested in, and that's too, like, to me, it's just like, oh, we get to try out some different stuff when it's not popping as much, And that's where, like, I do like to try out, even like I have been exploring some more of the stuff, but a lot of the like, even when I was playing PUBG for the first time, that was just kind of like a try. That game was not as big or mainstream as a lot of stuff, or like Battlefield, too, obviously. Yeah. GoldenEye on the N6. All right, we're getting too nostalgic here. All right, chat. We gotta keep going forwards. Anyways, yeah, that's one of the things. That's where, like, when there is stuff that's like, okay, what do I play today? That's when we start trying different stuff out. For me, at least, that's what I like to do. And sometimes it's great. Sometimes we never play it again. Sometimes we just play it for a couple times, like Sea of Thieves. That game was super awesome. I would have loved to even play more of that. The game's gotten a ton of updates lately too. Like, I kind of want to go back to it. But yeah. Matt D asks, so what's your thoughts on Season 4 on Apex? It's been very hush-hush, and there's been little to no speculation on it, unlike Season 3. The hype was off the scales. Has Respawn fallen off a bit, or are they planning a major shakeup? This is a good question. I think there was teases and stuff going into the season. I don't remember how far ahead it was when they were doing a bunch of stuff, but they were really kicking butt into Season 3. Like, weren't they? I don't remember. Were they were teasing a new map or something? Like, I feel like there was speculation of a new map, and like everybody was speculating on it, and there was a lot going on for it. I'd have to look back, and because I can't remember. I mean, I'm sure even if we just listened to the podcast from that time when we were speculating on what was happening with the next season, we could probably have. There was a lot of hype around it. I don't know. Maybe it's just because the game's been out for a while too. But I think, like, we know Revenant's coming, or at least we're fairly certain from the leaks and stuff. I don't know if there's going to be a new map. I don't know what new they have cooking up. Yeah, they obviously have. We were talking about they've got the 7 new modes that's coming. That's pretty hype. That's in 4 days. Maybe they'll continue to start teasing some big stuff. Maybe we go back to the previous map as well. They could shake things up big if they announce cross-platform play and they announce custom games. Oh boy, I mean, that could become a main game staple easy again. But maybe that's not till season 5. Maybe that doesn't come. I know when the game first came out, obviously we've been talking about this since when the game first came out, that they were mentioning that there's going to be crossplay, or they're working towards crossplay, or doesn't seem to really be a thing. They've kind of gone more down the competitive route. I think the bigger thing, right, is probably, somebody mentioned competitive. Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger thing is probably they announced they're doing these competitions, and they're going to be doing, millions in prizes or whatever it is. I haven't been super into a lot of the competitive scene. So I don't really know how all of that's going, what the progress is, a lot of that has been. And I've been pretty open about all that. So I mean, we'll see how that carries for the game. Maybe that draws some more interest. I think Fortnite is just so strong for the competitive scene right now. They've done such a good job dominating it because there's so much money in it that, they kind of take over, and crossplay would be, I don't know what else they do that would be like, chat, what else could they do that's like a game changer for a new season? Maybe a new map, but I don't think they would do a new map. If anything, I think they tweak the current map like they did, because they did season 1, season 2, and then they changed the map for season 2, and then season 3 they did the new map. So my guess is they're going to keep that format. They're going to change this map, and then the next season will be a new map. Maybe they keep up with that one. Steal more ideas. I mean, works for a lot of games. Mash up, innovate. Maybe they just go full third person. Game just instantly switches to just being a permanent third person game in Apex Legends. Oh boy. Now, I mean, or maybe they start dropping 2 characters. Maybe they drop 3 characters, and they're like characters that actually compete with Pathfinder. Yeah. World's Edge gonna get hit with a meteor, bro. Okay, that's map change for it though, right? Miss the dragons flying around the map. Yeah, now they got the little drones flying instead, right? I don't know if 4-man squads would be something that really changes the game. Drop Titans. I don't think, based on the talk from the developers, I don't think they would actually do that. Add the Titans into it. And I don't think they would change it to 4 players. Maybe they do like a limited time mode on it. They could do that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll really have to see where that goes, where it leads. I'm optimistic with the game still, though. I would love to see them making some more improvements to everything. Justin G, my boy, says, do you plan on rotating back to smaller games, Sea of Thieves, etc.? Yeah, I think this kind of goes back to, like, when there's enough downtime that we've got, like, a break in the gap of content, we're going to dive in on, maybe we dive back into the sea, as they say. Pull our spyglass back out. Try some other game. There'll probably be some new stuff that will probably, at least on my content where I'm going, like, I do want to keep pushing in and seeing some VR stuff, see where that's going, see how that's going. We'll see, though. We'll see. Any other last second questions here? Going through the list. I think those are the ones that I really liked. Greg S. Oh, here was one. Greg S. says, first of all, really enjoy the workout videos. Buns of Stone. Haha, serious question, though. What classic game from your childhood would be the first game you get Little Pebble playing? I've already got a Game Boy with Pokemon lined up for my little one. I think... I don't know. I'll have to think about that. The first games that I really played was Nintendo 64, Mario Kart, and then some more Nintendo games. But I think I was super hooked on Game Boy when I got that, and I was playing Pokemon. I was playing Super Mario, but I think I'm guessing that, you know what? I don't even understand why hasn't like Pokemon come to mobile. Maybe they even do. I could just be clueless, but just like straight up, why do you need a Game Boy or a DS or whatever the latest 3DS or the handheld? Everybody's just on their phone. Like they should have, like obviously they got Pokemon Go, right? Okay, that's great. They've been making, and you know what? I read an article too recently about that because remember Pokemon Go was like, boom, it was bananas. And I was telling everybody too, I was like, oh, this game is big. This game is it's gonna be big. It's huge. Like when because I was at work at the time, I was telling like, oh man, this game's, it's great. And then we saw this huge spike and then a big plummet because not everybody's keeping on with it, but the game is still making record revenue. Like the game is still crazy good. It's crazy well adopted. But it's just like not 90%. Like everybody was playing it at first, but now they found out who their audience is. They're delivering a great game for them. They're enjoying it. It's awesome. Anyways, my guess is it's probably going to be some mobile thing. I don't know though. I really don't know. There was another question too that I remember. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it here. I just saw. Blake asks, other than shooting / war games, what else would you play that would keep you entertained? I mean, I don't only play those. I play a lot of shooting and war type games because that's what I've just built my content and everything on. All you beautiful people out there like that content in some way or form or shape, or trolling people or whatever it is, or you play those games somehow. That's how you found my content, found out about me in the first place. So that's where a lot of that has stemmed from. But I mean, I would have, like, I tried to get into Hearthstone. I played that game off stream a lot, and then I brought it into my stream a little bit, but my videos, but it never really did anything. So I kind of stopped that. More recently though, like I'm super into WoW Classic. I've really been enjoying that. Just kind of that's just like, I love like a MMORPG type game. Love it. So I'd be down for it. Don't really, and it keeps me very well entertained, I should say. Like even Clash of Clans, if any of you guys played that, I was super into that for a long time. That was a bunch of fun. That was a mobile game actually, speaking of mobile games, right? But yeah, I just like, it just depends what I'm creating content on though versus that. And like, okay, well, do I start another channel on doing some of that? Probably not. And then it's just a little easier to just do whatever I want to without having to worry about making content sometimes, although that's been more of a recent thing than anything. But yeah, I'm playing a couple things here and there. How often do I play off stream? Not all that much, but a little bit. A lot of times I'll just, like lately I've actually been playing a little bit off stream for Tarkov actually. Even like typically I don't play the main game that I'm playing off stream too much unless it's practicing. But for this game, because you can get stuff, like I'll do a couple scab runs here and there. So, and then it's like I'll talk about, but I usually talk about it at the beginning of the stream or something. Like I'll talk about what my runs were like or what I was doing. And what happened, like when I fought Killa the other day, and a couple of those things. But yeah, new year, new opportunities, guys. I hope you get after whatever you're working on out there and go kick some butt in the new decade. Make a list, get it done. I'm really excited though. I'm really excited. There's going to be a lot going on this year. Which is exciting, but it's also really fun. And I hope that I can continue to create really fun content that you guys enjoy all year long, or can come back to or catch up on whenever you like. Got the podcast rocking, YouTube rocking, everything cooking. It's going to be awesome. We're going to keep these up every other week, hopefully for the entire year. Might miss a couple here and there with the kiddo coming, and we'll do some catch-ups. We'll try and get some other guests on so we have some better conversations, not just my ass yapping the whole time. But thank you guys so much for watching, supporting, hanging out. We're going to be back with the regular stream, as always, every single weekday. Noon Pacific time, which is 30 minutes from right now if you are watching it live. And I hope to see you there. All right. That's it for this one. SwagMountain 64.